Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs hosted some of their top commitments and targets throughout the month of June, and a lot of those guys will be back in town this weekend for more visits. The dead period is over. There's this final week in July for college coaches to host more of their top commitments and targets, and there's going to be a lot of talent in Athens this weekend. Of course, that's what this video is all about. I'm going to be breaking down which guys you need to know about who will be in town this weekend. So let's get started. First off, I have to say that the bigger list of all these guys will be over on Dog Post later this week, and you can read it for just $1. We've got a great deal going on, probably the best deal in the history of the world. $1 to sign up right now on Dog Post. You can get this list. So much more going on. I posted a story earlier this week about five-star Shamar Stewart, who told me all about his interest in Georgia, what makes them stand out, his relationship with Kirby Smart, a lot more. So this is the time to sign up. Lots of recruiting going on. We're right around the corner for the season. Definitely a time to sign up, especially for $1. But y'all are watching this video for the latest in recruiting, so let's jump right into that. So the first guy that you need to know about who's going to be in town this weekend, Kaimari Wilson, the #1 safety prospect in the entire country, is going to be back in Athens this week. He was there last month. He's going to make it again. He is a big Georgia target. They obviously lost out to Clemson for Keon Sabb and Dalen Everett, another cornerback. So Georgia needs to bring in some high-quality defensive backs, and Kaimari Wilson is definitely one of those guys. Big, physical, can hit, but he also knows how to cover. He's got great size, great instincts. He plays down there at IMG, where they're basically a college football program. He knows what he has to do to make it in the college level. He's already doing it right now down there in Bradenton. And if they were to get this guy, team him up with Malachi Starks, they would easily have the best safety duo in the entire 2022 class. I think Malachi Starks is an easy 5-star, #2 player in the state in my eyes. And Kaimari Wilson is the #1 ranked safety in the country. Malachi Starks is an athlete, but he will play safety in Athens. If they were able to get both of those guys, that's an A+. You can't do any better than that. So he is definitely a guy to know. Kaimari Wilson, 5-star safety from IMG Academy, coming back to Athens this weekend. And there's going to be a story on him later this week on Dog Post. He gave me some quotes about what he likes about Georgia, why he's going back for another visit, and where they stand in his recruitment. So again, for just $1, you can read that story that I've got coming up later this week. Another guy to keep an eye on, actually 2 commitments who are going to be in town. Denylon Morissette, 4-star wide receiver. You know all about him by now if you've been watching these videos and if you've been on Dog Post. Great hands, 6'2", got some length, got some playmaking ability. The #2 wide receiver in the state in my eyes. He's on the commitment list. He's the only wide receiver, not really, but I was going to say on the commit list. But he's going to be back in town. He is recruiting others heavily to join him. So he's going to be back in Athens this weekend. That's a big deal. And Jalen Walker, one of Georgia's biggest current commitments right now, Gatorade Player of the Year in North Carolina. This guy is absolutely the real deal and who could push for 5-star status down the road. He told me that he is going to be in town. We'll see if he can bring his buddy Travis Shaw, a 5-star defensive lineman, to Athens with him. But always good to get him back on campus. He is 100% on board with Georgia. Don't believe he's looking around at all, but always good to get him back on board. Another commitment, Marcus Washington Jr. He's in the 2023 class, but he is an ideal cornerback prospect, might be one of the top cornerbacks in the state. 2023 is loaded in the state of Georgia with defensive backs, so no matter where Georgia goes, they're going to end up getting some high-quality defensive backs in that 23 class. And Marcus Washington Jr., Georgia Bulldog legacy, his dad played for Mark Richt. He's one of the best in the state and in the South. Long, athletic, really good speed for someone his size. Can help out in the return game as well. He's going to be back on campus. He committed to Georgia earlier this spring, took a visit on June 1st. I think he was back later in the month of June, and now he'll be in Athens again in late July. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on in the 23 class, but still a prospect to know. Now a 22 prospect, going back to this current class that you need to know. Carlton Madden Jr., linebacker, defensive end out of Cedar Grove High School. Not a lot of tape on him. He's been injured a little bit so far in his high school career, but when he worked out for colleges last month in June for a workout period, he is blowing everyone away. 6'2", 6'3", about 225. Probably an outside linebacker right now, might be able to play defensive end with his hand on the ground as he puts on more weight and muscle over the next few years. But he's a guy that I think Georgia really likes. He blew them away with his workout at a camp, and I believe it was mid-June. They offered him basically on the spot while he was still on campus, and I think he kind of shot up their board quickly. So if there's a guy that I had to make a guess on who would be the next to commit to Georgia, I think it's this kid, Carlton Madden Jr., one of the fastest rising prospects in the state of Georgia, can really get after the passer. So much potential. He's still pretty raw, but you just looking at him, he looks like a college defender right now and still just getting better and better. I expect him to have a big year for Cedar Grove this year, and I think he's coming out with his top 5, I think, early August 4th or 5th, and I think he's going to make a decision shortly after that. You have to like Georgia's chances there. Former Colorado commitment. Georgia gave him an offer, and they're the biggest school to have offered him so far. Definitely think he is a guy that Georgia fans need to keep a close eye on over the next few weeks. And again, he'll be in Athens this weekend. And then lots of 23 prospects. Again, there's going to be a full list over on Dog Post later this week, but a couple guys to know. Madden Sanker, a offensive lineman from South Paulding High School in Georgia, might be one of the best, probably a top 3 offensive lineman for me in the state of Georgia for 2023. State champion wrestler. He's an ideal center prospect. Big, physical, loves to get dirty there in the trenches. He's a tough guy, loves physical contact, and knows how to get his guy on the ground. So I think Georgia is looking at him at center, possibly guard, but I definitely think that he is one of their top interior offensive line prospects or targets in that 23 class. In-state kid, I really think Georgia is definitely the team to beat for him, and he'll be on campus this week as well. Another guy, Braden Joyner, kid from Alabama, another 2023 offensive lineman. I'm not sure exactly where he is ranked right now, but I do think he does hold a Georgia offer, and he's got some other SEC offers as well. So he is another guy to keep an eye on. So solid list early on. I'm going to keep adding to this list more and more as the week goes on. Make sure you head over to Dog Post to read all about this list and so much more. We're pumping out content left and right, guys. Really appreciate y'all watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on the website.